there, welcome back to Hardy Brothers Outdoors. Josh Hardy here, and today we've got another buyer's guide episode focused on skidding winches for compact tractors. So I'm with my 2032R John Deere compact tractor. I have my Hud-Son, well, imported by Hud-Son, made by Uniforest 35M skidding winch. And so today we're going to talk about kind of my use cases, why I bought it. So about March of last year, I invested in a Wood-Mizer LT35 fully hydraulic sawmill. And we have 150 acres here. The plan is to mill and build all kinds of stuff. We just did a pole barn. We didn't use our own wood on the structure, but we're going to use it on the inside. So we got a lot of cool stuff to do there. We've got all kinds of other things that we're going to build. And so we are on nothing but hills and ravines. And we knew that one of the hardest things that we're going to have to deal with is moving logs. And at the time of the purchase, we had a 1025R and a 2032R. Jason hadn't yet come up with the justifications to buy a bigger tractor, which he now has the 4052R. Unfortunately, the 4052R has got more horsepower than what we should run with this skidding winch. It can mess up the clutch. So long story short, we needed to be able to move logs, get them to the mill, and that was my use case. So no really other need for a forestry skidding winch than that itself. In terms of pricing and considerations, I know there's a brand called Wallenstein, there's Hud-Son or Uniforest, and I know there's a few others out there that I've seen other people mention. I did a little bit of research, and my key reason for buying what I bought was because the dealer was local. They sold Hud-Son sawmills, which I ended up deciding against and going with the Wood-Mizer, and they sold, other Hud-Son equipment. And so I was able to go on site and see the product, and that was something that I felt like I needed. It's a sizable purchase. I want to say this was around $2,900 or $3,000, plus or minus $100 or so. I can't quite remember. I bought it from a small little dealer. I say small, they're actually quite big. I think they operate across multiple states, but they're here in Columbus, Ohio. They're called Brownwood Sales, family owned, mom and pop and son, and just an awesome group of folks to work with. So I went down, I looked at the mills, I looked at the winches. After I'd made my mill decision, I went back and I purchased this. So in terms of things to ask your dealer or your whoever you're buying your skidding winch from, in my case, I asked them about used products. Did they have any used ones that they might have? They actually did. They said that there's not a lot that can go wrong with these. There's a cable and a clutch and a brake, and that's about all there was. And they had a demo unit it was only about $400 less, I think. Not enough for me to feel comfortable not knowing these pieces of equipment. But somebody else may, be a little more mechanically inclined than me, might be okay with getting that used one. I talked to them about what other materials do they have or components do they have that I might want to purchase from them while I'm there. I got a number of choker chains. These are what go around the log, and this little needle threads through to the other side. Key for moving your log. I have 3 of those. I've since gone back and bought a few more needles. I lost a few of those as I was dragging, so something to keep an eye on. I would talk to them about the PTO power. Is it the right one? And then in this particular model, I got the 35M. M stands for manual, and I want to say the other was an E. I can't remember if it was an E or not, but you can get a remote control. And so I couldn't justify the additional price, having never run one, not knowing how much we were going to use it, all of those kind of things I didn't quite know. But Hud-Son actually has a great video. The logger's down in the woods, he hooks the chain up and he hits a button and he walks back with a log. I can tell you now, after having used it, and I just recently was using it, and I was pulling a log from way back in the woods, and as I'm dragging it through the woods, it's hitting stuff and running into things, and so there was a lot of value, I think, in being able to use that remote. It also allows you to get further away. It has 2 ropes that you pull on that gets you about 8 feet away from the tractor in case your tractor were to roll or whatever else. So I can see some value from a safety perspective having that remote as well. Definitely convenient. So in terms of safety, I'm going to tell you on this one, make sure that you read the manual. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't think about. There's a lot of things around, you know, if the cable were to snap, I actually have a dampener that drapes on the cable now, that if the cable were to snap, it would drop the cable instead of it coming ricocheting back. Some really dangerous pieces of equipment here. You know, they say that logging is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. So I believe it just in what we've done, both from cutting the trees down to dragging and skidding. The hills, we're on hills, so if you're, you know, trying to operate this thing on an uneven ground, you could drop the tractor, roll the tractor. Same with when you're dragging stuff. So there's a number of really key safety items in the manual that I got with this that I'm going to tell you to read that, because I don't want to skip anything and have anybody get hurt. So read the manual. A lot of cable. The frayed ends on the cables, I've cut my hands on that a few times, so I wear gloves all the time, but there's things that I've forgotten to do. Anyway, a variety of different features. This one actually has a scabbard for the chainsaw, a place to put my PV, my log roller in it, and 2 pockets where I can keep my chains. I want to say there was something else. There's a hitch that goes on here. You can actually put a hitch, and I can't remember where that actually goes. I don't even see it. But you could put a hitch on it if you were going to pull a trailer behind it. So just some things to check out. As with the others, we always recommend asking them about the maintenance points to make sure that you've got that sorted out. So that leaves us with negotiations. This was a small family-owned business. I did not try to negotiate hard with them. I did, you know, go back and forth between the used model and the new model, hoping they'd come down some. I do believe they may have come down $100 or $200, not much. And I did get them to throw in, I think they threw in 2 choker chains. So that's about $70 worth of stuff. And so I also went back and bought more stuff from them later. I bought some snatch blocks and a self-releasing snatch block. So another $400 or $500 worth of stuff. And they didn't have them in stock, and they basically told me that they would, you know, waive any of the shipping costs or anything else like that. I ended up going and picking them up anyway. Great little place, Brownwood Sales in Columbus, Ohio. They cover Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky. They're a distributor for a pretty big area there of forestry equipment in general, not just Hud-Son. So if you're ever in the market and you're in the area, check them out, because I really do recommend them. So that's about it. I know this is probably a unique item. Not many people are out shopping for these, but I do see on occasion people asking about them, so I thought I'd go ahead and do a video. I have 2 other videos that I will leave links to, or that should have already showed up throughout the video. Our first time skidding, and a more recent one where we're skidding logs for the 50 house project. So with that said, I'm going to get back to building, you know, 50 houses. I got 50 houses to build. That's the birdhouse project, the conservation project. And skidders helped us get the wood out, get the trees out of the woods to the mill. And now I'm actually in the process of building the houses. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe, share us with a friend, and if you find it valuable, you know, check out our affiliate links down below. Every little bit helps us keep the channel going and keeping it free. So we appreciate it. Remember, outdoors is always in season. It's a beautiful day. Get yourself outdoors. Thank you.